Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Esports Universe podcast. It is Community Talks episode 8, and I've got the wrong title on the bottom. Either which way, just ignore that. We'll put a bar over that, and we'll just say that I forgot it on the graphic. Either which way, today the topic is going to be streaming and organisational work, and streaming is like part of the contracts and stuff like that. So obviously we've gone and got the man himself, Mr. Hey J, the streamer extraordinaire, and his good friend Frenzy as well. We're going to be joining us for the rest of the discussion today. And let's just open things up by one thing that we touched on last time we were on with Jeff was that we spoke to him about the importance of streaming as part of a contractual, if you like, obligation underneath an organization, like streaming X amount of hours a week. Now, I just thought if you can, obviously contracts have non-disclosure agreements, but if you can tell us anything about that, Harry or Frenzy, if you can, anything about your role as a streamer or how you find it is important as a selling point to an organization.
After you, Harry. After you, mate. After you. I've never streamed on an organisation. Yeah, you go first.
I've never ever been like contracted based, but like
Right.
if it's going to be contracted based, you should be getting some sort of salary because you're signing something, committing to it, or at least be given something serious in return of it. Otherwise, you can sign a contract. If you're not getting something big, you can just walk out. There's no money involved about, so you can't take it higher to like law places, which some people do and whatever.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough then. If we take it out of the organisational context, then that obviously doesn't apply in this situation. Then we take it to the wider context of just streaming as itself. Obviously, yourself, you've been streaming for quite a long time now, and it's actually been really successful for you. You say grind, your incline this year has been massive. Like, I've got to give you props for that. First things first, because it's been crazy to see you grow, especially this year. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how that kind of thing's happened for you and how it's kind of improving your chances within esports or just improving anything as a whole?
A lot of it's like connections based and like building your brand from others. Like I first started streaming, and Tom was as in Tommy, Vitality Tommy was a really big help towards it. Like, because I'd played with him a few times and whatever, he would send viewers my way and whatever. I've connected with like some of his viewers who now play with myself, and from there it's just like helped me grow in a way.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. If we can expand that out, then yourself, Frenzy. Obviously, you were saying that you'd let Harry go first. Do you have anything that you want to kind of add to that discussion?
I mean, as Harry said, I would never personally join an organisation to just stream under unless I'm under some sort of salary, which obviously I'm never expecting anytime soon. But from myself, I only stream when I want to stream. So I'll stream for an hour here, 6 hours here, which ranges from basically Fortnite or COD, depending on what I'm feeling. In terms of making it streaming, I do believe it is all all down to like connection. So for example, Harry's good friends with Tommy and Copley. When I'm streaming, I sometimes get hosted by Copley, for example, and that has say 60 to 100 viewers, which is always nice. But basically, yeah, I agree with Harry. It is all down to connections at the end of the day, in my opinion. And then you do get the odd streamer that just blows up out of nowhere. But I feel they're a anomaly most of the time, personally.
Got anything you want to add to that, Brody, before we start trying to move on in this?
Yeah, no, I don't really stream that often myself. No. So when I do, it's like 2 viewers at most. So
yeah,
no, not really good on the streaming front.
It's something that I've started to try and get into at the very least. I've been a bit busy lately. I started streaming when I got my new PC. I just started streaming PC stuff, from Counter-Strike to League to anything that I was really playing. Just because if I'm enjoying it, then surely someone else has got to be down to. So for me, I managed. I think I got, what is it called? You don't get partnered at first. You get
affiliation.
Yeah.
I think I got that already. I think that's all sorted for me now. I just need to initiate it or something like that. I haven't gone through with all that business yet. I just haven't been streaming since. But it was pretty easy for me to get that in a sense. It doesn't really require too much of a high viewership. It just requires consistency of hours. Now, that kind of segues quite nicely onto it, especially with you two obviously playing competitively as well. Obviously, Harry playing for Radiant and just competing at the recent I62 CWL Birmingham. How do you manage to juggle, at least the time management wise, streaming and competing? Because obviously we know that competing takes up a huge amount of time, obviously with all your practice and stuff. Maybe not so much anymore. Obviously, season's coming to a close for us now in Europe. Not many events to go to unless we're going to be traveling. But how is it that you manage that time?
I think the best way of doing it is your pro points and stuff outside team-based, apart from the 2Ks. You stream, you get them hours in, you play with different people, you try and like build yourself out there, and that's the only way I see it. Do play outside, like play and stream outside the circle. Don't stream with your team, kind of thing, unless you want to like feel confident. Like I didn't like doing it because of like arguments and away strats. Some people
That's
won't
always
get
a big play.
Some people won't get inside the inside joke from this, but yeah.
I mean, from a personal standpoint, when say we were scrimming or whatever, I'd like to like stream the scrims just because that's then a way for me to watch back and then hear everyone else's communications and stuff. I mean, I think it's a lot easier for the lower tier players, so basically not the pros, to stream their scrims because not many people are looking for you and your strategies and stuff. So me personally, I'd try and stream all the scrims, pro points, 2Ks, example. Unless we're actually properly going over something, I would probably stream it anyway.
But does anyone else have a problem with that? Like your teammates, for example, do they not?
I've never had a problem with my teammates with it. I know Harry's teammates have in the past, but I personally haven't experienced that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big ongoing debate in the pro scene overall as well, isn't it? With this whole revived COD movement at the moment. I mean, pro players are finally, after all these years, starting streaming scrims again and stuff like that. I remember the reason that I actually got into competitive Call of Duty is because when I first got my hands on COD, it was like Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 3. I was playing all those games just casually. I started getting into comp at the end of Modern Warfare 3, like at least noticing it was there. And then Black Ops 2, where it really took off, was where I kind of got really into it. And for me, I was just looking down Twitch, seeing like who was playing, who were the top streamers, and Nade Shot's obviously at the top, popping off viewers with his Red Bull overlay, and then down lower, I just started seeing all these different pros streaming, every single one of them. And I remember all the time people would tune into like the Haggy and Killer Unite team, was it? Or like just to hear them going at each other's throats all the time. And that's the kind of thing that made COD for me. Is I used to tune into Clay's to stream, but now he's the guy who I go to for streams because he's starting it back up again. He's again streaming scrims, and everyone else was kind of doing that back in the day. I mean, I don't really remember too many pros who didn't stream in that sort of era, but obviously now since the competition's risen, it's all fallen off. Like you were saying though, Frenzy, at a lower level, I tend to agree that maybe streaming scrims isn't the worst of ideas. I mean, at the very least, there's not going to be too much strat stealing. I don't think too many people have the time for that, or at least care enough.
Yeah.
It's not it's not as important as the I guess in a way to the players at least. I think.
Yeah, that's what I think in terms. Because I saw methods of streaming the new Optic team scrims last night. I personally don't know how long that's going to last for, just because they will start getting down to like he's at the moment, like he's already put out 3 videos I think on YouTube. He's feeding off the Optic hype.
On the grind,
I think that's just the idea. That just in that situation at least, it's just methods trying to get viewers and trying to gain subscribers from the green wall. At least.
I don't know how long that will last. I hope it does last for a while, but I just don't know how long it will.
Yeah.
Just in terms of they will start getting down to nitty gritties. Okay, it's time to put in 12 hours a day to win this tournament or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't doubt they will. I mean, if we look at what was the last event, was it Seattle? I think there was a few teams who'd started streaming before Seattle. I think it was like EG, E United. Who ended up winning that event as well? Who was it? Was it Rise? The Rise team?
Rise. Rise came to bracket round 1.
I think all of those top 3 teams were at least streaming their scrims at some point. So I don't know whether streaming scrims holds too much weight in terms of stealing strategies at a pro level. Because it ended up working out quite well for those top 3 teams. Let's see how well that goes though, because that's obviously a honeymoon period. 3 teams made roster changes and 3 teams made changes. So we'll see how well that one goes. But I just wanted to get your guys' opinions on that. If you think it is at least valid to stream scrims, because moving on to a kind of similar point but different in the same vein is that scrims in themselves are often what people want to see. They want to see what they can model their own teams off of, and they often don't get a lot of chance to try and view that, because a lot of people don't upload their scrim series anymore to the YouTube like Nadeshot and Co used to do, and a lot of people don't stream them anymore as well. So do you think that as a whole, watching a scrim with a full team of people that you may not be familiar with or who might have personalities within themselves are more interesting to watch than, say, just watching a pro points match where it's just a few people who are just cobbled together? Would you say that's more interesting, and would you say it's more viable to stream?
I definitely think streaming scrims is a lot more enjoyable to watch personally, just because pro points not really takes it really, not even 50%, if I'm honest. Pro points is more, you just got to get them done, get them out of the way, and then scrimming is like properly like getting into it, if that makes sense. Like you hear the intense communication sometimes, you hear you should be doing this, you should be doing that, and it does help your gameplay a lot more if you're like properly going into it.
Yeah. So pretty good.
Yeah, messed up the stream. Just for everyone in the just for everyone in the chat, I forgot to change the stream title.
It's fine.
On the overlay. Don't worry about that. That's just me being a bit of a melt. It happens from time to time.
We are talking about streaming, yeah.
Yeah, we are talking about
streaming. Ironically, we are talking about streaming.
Not the life of a pro.
No. Sorry, AJ, not yet.
It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time.
I guess.
Go on.
I know. You want?
No, you go. You have.
I got it. Yeah.
Oh, wait.
We'll get there in the end. I guess the question I want to ask, specifically in regards to streaming, is of course both of you, as players and people who do stream. How do you handle playing for organisations and teams that you aren't necessarily streaming for? So I don't know, for example, how many teams HeyJ's not been on besides Radiant. But for example, if you were to still stream for Radiant, how would you guys handle, I guess, playing for another organization and getting funding from other organizations when you guys are streaming, I guess, for some organizations? I don't know how bad that wording of that question would be.
The wording that I'll give that wording is a lot of people stream for a different organization to the organization they play for.
It's so confusing.
Yeah. I get you. I don't really like that whole idea, playing for one, streaming for another.
Right.
Like, if you're gonna do it, like how I done it with Radiant, I got benefits funding for the recent event. If I done this for them streaming wise, or represented them on my stream, this was like one of the 2Ks I said. In return, if you help us, we can come to an agreement on me streaming on your channel, which I'd done. So it's kind of a two-way thing. So works for them, it works for you. But short term, it's better for you. Long term, for them, kind of thing. But then you can get other rewards, stuff like giveaways and other stuff. The more you do from streaming wise.
Yeah, just to push on to that, but a lot of streamers who have like a big viewer base or big subscriber base or whatever, they'll use that as a reason for an organization to give you funding. So typically, if you're streaming, but not under an organization, you'll go to that organization and be like, I can do this for you, and our team can do this. Can you give us this?
Right.
It's a selling point, basically.
Yeah.
It's a selling point which not many have. Like, you look at Tommy. He's got his stream behind. He can go up to any org. I can give you this exposure through my stream, whatever. Unless you had someone like, I don't know, Joe. Maybe Joe goes up to an org. Can we get this? You can't give us this. It might not work. It's all about a lot of it's behind personality and brand. If you've got that there, it's a massive boost because it brings a lot to an organization.
Yeah, I'd agree with that sentiment. I was watching the Nameless Codcast the other day, and the first thing they started it off with was the transition, the idea of building your own brand, so that even if it does all fall through, you still have a career in esports or in gaming at the very least. It's a huge thing to bring your own personal brand. It's mad, and just like we're saying right now, Nova's in the chat. And he's saying that streaming is very attractive for an organisation. I'd take a team of HeyJ's over a T24 team any day. And now I think that might just be obviously a little bit of love.
Love for HeyJ, yeah.
A bit of love for HeyJ, but in the sense that I do think it is, as an organisation, a more valuable asset to an organisation to have that exposure. Because when you're going to, at least at this level, this kind of amateur level, when you go into an event, the only people you're advertising your sponsors or your brand to are the other people at the event. It's very rare that people are going to get on broadcast. Now, whether that's a good or a bad thing, it's up for everyone else to debate. But with a stream, the organization's going to get far more benefits, far more viewers across the country than people just at the event. So I completely understand that sentiment.
100%. I just agree with you.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll move that on then. Obviously, things have been different at the moment with organisations and teams with the streams coming back. We just highlighted over that point. So I wanted to kind of move on a little bit, and I want to explore the journey of growing your own personal brand. Obviously, we mentioned earlier it's all about connections for you, Harry. Is what you said. You said connections are the way. Obviously, playing with Tommy and Copley. That's been the come up for you.
I wouldn't say so much Copley, but
not Copley so much. That's been the come up for you, at least in some senses of the word. But from that point where you had that platform, then you've got yourself on that level. Now, what are your plans in a sense to try and carry on going? What are your plans to keep pushing?
just do what I'm doing. Just continue to promote myself how I am. Connect to other people who are new to a stream, or try and bring in people who I'm friends with already. Try and make some sort of connection with them, and just keep pushing and wait for something to happen.
Yeah.
I suppose that's probably one of the best ways to go about it. Now, on your side of it, Franzi, do you feel like, even obviously you said before, you stream when you feel like you want to stream, there's no sort of consistency to it. Do you feel like there's any sort of way that you have any plans, if you were to go hard with streaming, that you would go about it in a sense that you think to yourself, maybe this is a good strategy, a plan of attack, as it were?
Honestly, I think with streaming, it is just constant grinding on a constant schedule. So, I mean, I do have a lot of spare time, honestly, but I just don't have the urge to stream like as much as probably Harry or Copley or probably even Tommy does, just to use a few examples. So if I feel like if I'm playing a few games, I'm like, right, I'm going to stream this, then I will. But if I don't see personally a career in streaming or that kind of area yet, or in my personal opinion. So if I suddenly woke up and was like, right, I'm going to go fucking hard for this, then I would obviously get up, go to work, and then come back and stream for 6 to 8 hours and do that probably every day, honestly, if I really want to go hard for it. And I think over a period of time, those viewers and subscribers and donations and whatever else will come in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, basically going back to the first point, it is just a constant grind on a constant schedule, so people know if they do want to see you, when you will be live.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If you're not consistent, you're not going to get the viewership.
100%.
Yeah, I suppose it's like people regularly tuning back in to things they know they want to see. They know that if they just come home, they can just flick on the stream with their favorite streamer. It's going to be there, going to be right there for them at every consistent time. So, like you say, just grinding away is that kind of thing. And I
was just going to say, I think another thing with streaming is you got to follow the wave. So, say for example, when Fortnite was absolutely massive, say last month, if you weren't streaming Fortnite, you were very unlikely to get probably over 100 viewers.
Yeah, that's something I wanted to bring up actually. How do you decide what you want to stream? I mean, with I guess I don't want to say the rise of Fortnite, but the whole reason for Call of Duty reviving. Fortnite is way more popular now than Call of Duty is, at least on a streaming level, and probably on a playing basis as well, just because it's free to play. But do you guys decide that now you guys would choose to stream Fortnite just because you know there's viewership there, or would you stay, with Call of Duty just because you know that you can create good content on that game? I mean, how do you make those decisions?
I mean, sorry, ask you, Harry, go ahead.
Self experience. My viewership is in COD.
Right.
That's where I've kind of built my stream around. That's where a lot of my following and people I interact are from. And an easy thing, people you play against good people are gonna want to watch. It's gonna be good games, good content. But Fortnite, I'm not bad at the game, but just in general, there's better people to watch. People would probably want to rather watch them play over me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And
I mean, that makes sense.
Sorry, Franzi had a point.
Yeah, Franzi.
No, I was just going to say, from a personal standpoint, again, I haven't played COD in probably a couple of weeks because I feel like my season is over because I don't have a plan to go to America for Anaheim.
Over at the start of the year.
Ooh. Okay. Okay,
And
Harry.
then, honestly, for me, there's nothing really to streaming in terms of COD till at least a new game. Like when the new game comes out, I probably will do like a 24-hour live stream, for example. But for now, when I do stream, I like to stream Fortnite because I just think it's a lot more enjoyable for audience. Because I feel like with Fortnite, there's a lot more moments that you can just like absolutely laugh your absolute arse off. Like you dive from a cliff or whatever. Just an example, but I just feel like for an audience, it's just more enjoyable to watch. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
No, I understand that. That's probably why it's so massively popular at the moment. Also, I don't think it helps that there's obviously all the 12-year-old kids cutting about on their 360, on their Xbox Ones, all going, Fortnite's my favourite thing, here's my double pump and all that crap.
Yeah, and then that's where the viewership is ultimately. Like that's where the majority of Call of Duty's viewership was back in Black Ops 2 is just like kids watching like nature and stuff, and it's happening again with Fortnite ultimately. It's just kids finding personalities to watch and actually enjoying their streams, because when you're a kid, that's what you got to do. Really, it's different for adults. You've got jobs and you've got work to do, but when you're a kid, you come home from school and you either play the game or you watch streams of the game, and that unfortunately is just the way it is right now. Is that those kids are playing Fortnite and watching Fortnite, and I guess it does leave though some form of viewership for people who do stream Call of Duty like yourself, AJ, because since there's nobody streaming it pretty much, or there is, but those people aren't necessarily the best at streaming it. If you're good at streaming that game and you have an interest in it, I guess it is better for yourself to find that viewership as a sort of a specialist Call of Duty streamer.
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
yeah, nice.
Good response. Love
No.
it. Keep it. Keep
Just
it
said it all in the
concise.
question.
Yeah. One thing I did just think of is obviously with the stream, like we were saying, you can switch from game to game. There's obviously people who do variety streaming. Variety streaming had a big rise a few years ago with a lot of different. Generally, I won't go too into this topic, but generally it's female streamers. I don't know if that's for any particular reason, that people are just more attracted to watching different games, shall we say? And but variety streamers are definitely a thing. People who stream very different things. I personally a fan of a streamer called Sips, who streams a lot of just games which basically allow him to have a lot of personality rather than a lot of content on the stream itself, rather than the game or what have. And I wanted to just get your guys' take on this because it's something quite different. Do you think, in some senses of the word, people watch streams for the personality, or people watch streams for the game itself, or for the people playing it as such? Like, for example, I'll give an example if I can think of one. Like, if there's a player who isn't particularly, let's say, charismatic, but is exceptionally good at the game, will people be more inclined to watch that, or someone who's not necessarily as good at the game but very charismatic? Which would you say?
I don't actually know what I'd prefer personally, but I think you're either going to go to a stream for the person or for the gameplay. Like if you have none of them, then honestly you probably don't have much of a chance, honestly, unless you're like again an anomaly in my opinion. But I think I'd personally go for the gameplay. So if you're winning games, dropping 50 kills in the tournament or whatever, I'd personally want to watch that, just because as a player I'd probably take something from his gameplay, or do this differently, do that differently, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's what I think.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I don't know about you, Harry.
Yeah, I'm more of a gameplay, but like if it's just pure gameplay, no personality, it doesn't make streamer kind of interesting kind of thing. Like you have to have a bit of both.
Yeah. Yeah, it has to be a masterful mix, should we say?
Yeah, you got to find the right balance between the two.
Yeah.
But if you're all gameplay, no personality, you're not like try having a laugh with viewers and your personality ain't great, or like it's just gonna like kill their vibe kind of thing between you and them.
Okay, I get that pretty well. Just so you guys know, we're going to be coming up to the end of the podcast in about 10-15 minutes, just to where we get to the point where we start looking for questions now. So if you guys want to throw any questions for Harry and Frenzy in the chat, or myself and Brody as well, obviously there's going to be some questions which we'll probably get, which we'll ignore. For at least the time being. Which will
another podcast.
Maybe another podcast, but probably
time,
not with Brody, because he's a little bitch. Anyway.
Wow.
Anyway, if you guys want to throw questions in the chat, go ahead and do that. But we'll move on to one of the last points, and we'll go into just the raw competition aspect of it, because this is what it's all about, really. Esports Universe is a places competition. We've got scrims, tournaments, leagues, all this sort of stuff going on. So I want to talk to you guys about your experiences as players as a whole, and we can start to dive into the online leagues a little bit. I think we should kind of veer clear of that conversation for now, but we can go there if we wish. So obviously, I spent a lot of time around Harry, at the very least, at I-62. Not necessarily with him. I was taking a few photos of Radiant on a Saturday morning, periscoping their games, etc. And I just wanted to get your guys' experiences of events in themselves and how you guys have felt around them. Especially in a sense, if we can link it back to streaming, is do people recognise you when you're at the events as well?
I did have like people who I haven't not interacted, but people from streams like who watch me, I spoke to like outside of my circle, kind of thing. And it was like kind of different because it's like a different connection you have with them. Like they support your stream, may kind of like help you out by retweeting, subscribing, donating, whatever. It's definitely a benefit. And yeah, like on a night out before, through my streaming, I've been recognised as well, which was like really fucking weird, but
yeah, pretty surreal, I'd imagine.
Yeah, really cool. I was so gassed on Twitter at the time.
that's the
ever since then, I've seen that same guy 3 times since.
Nah.
Same club on the night out.
Madness.
It's insane.
That's a weird one for me. Is that I've had, as a caster, obviously people generally know my voice rather than my face as such. And I had a few people when I was at I-62 go, "Oh wait, you sound like that guy who casts," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that is actually me." But that was only like 1 or 2 people. Now, obviously, it's a very different clique, the over 18 scene to the scene that I end up actually casting for. Hopefully, that can change soon enough. But I wanted to get your take on it as well for overall LAN experience. Like, do you guys find that events are cool? Do you enjoy being at them? Do you love the atmosphere, like hanging out with all your friends, people you don't necessarily get to spend a lot of time with and all that business? I know that when you were at I-62, Harry, you had to spend a lot of time with Nova. Don't know if that was just doing unhappy pictures on large chairs. But
I did not want to.
You did not want to be there at all in that picture, dude. But I just want to get
He knows that as well, because I was really grumpy, like like being with like people outside your like real life kind of thing. It's completely different. You start off sharing a common interest, which takes you like to traveling across the UK, certain extent to France. That's like Callum, and like you build something with other people which you don't have with people you've grown up with, kind of thing. And like that moment, like them moments, like it's really cool. Like you met someone through a video game, and you're traveling the world with them. Like
madness. I mean, some people have their happy place. If I was to have a happy place, it would definitely be some sort of gaming event. I just feel in my element. It's gonna sound really nerdy. I just feel like in my element. I'm surrounded by people who also play the exact same game, all competitive, and I get along with most of them, honestly. And it really is just a great experience. If you haven't been to an event before, I can't express enough how much you need to go. If you're like a competitor, you talk to a lot of people on Twitter in regards to gaming. It's a different kind of experience.
Yeah, I certainly found that when I was there. Brody, you haven't been to an event yet, have you?
No, I'm not. I'm going to my first one in August, hopefully. So yeah, a bit hint.
Look at you, eh?
No. But I mean, I'm not going to drop the intel on stream.
It's definitely something surreal. I think Nathan just said the same word I just did in chat.
Yeah.
Just peeped that. And for me, it was surreal. When I first went to my first event, it was I-60 like last year, and really like then, I didn't know anyone, and no one really knew me. Like the only person I went there with was like the whole Void gang and then Paradoxer, and we went PK, and I was literally hanging about with him the whole weekend, just trying to find anyone to hang out with. I felt kind of out of place, even though everyone there had the same common interest as me. Then I
Yeah.
went the year after, this year now in April, and casting has been a big benefit for me in a sense. Like it's opened my doors up to a lot of different people, and it is a surreal experience. Like like someone tapped me on the shoulder as I'm waiting for my team to start their game and whatever. As someone taps me on the shoulder, I turn around and he's like, "Yo, Buffers, what's up?" I'm like, "Who are you?" It's like, "Oh, it's
Yeah.
Wazza." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, right, okay, it's Wazza, right, okay."
Especially at the event just been what I-62. Sorry,
Oh,
I've had at least
oh,
like
oh, Harry. Yeah, go on,
I
carry
probably had like, it's gonna sound really big. I had about 5 people come up to me and be like, "Yo, Fritzy, how you playing? How you doing?" And I'm sitting, like, I have the conversation with them, but I can't address them as a name because I just don't know who it is. I can't put like a face to a name. It's awkward, but it's just one of those things.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's the worst part.
Yeah.
Fucking when people, that's the most I've ever experienced this event because there's so many new
Same.
people.
Same.
I might start speaking to you. You talk to them like you can't just ignore them.
Yeah.
And then like 2 minutes after they've gone, you turn around to someone. Who the fuck was that?
Yeah.
I had a moment like that. In fact, it's
I had it a
it's
lot.
quite bad because one of the people who I'm supposed to know quite well, Quinn, walked up to me at the event, put his hand on my shoulder and said, "Yo, Buffers." I turned around and was just like, "I'm ready to throw hands. Who the fuck is this?" Like, he just touched me. Turn around, he's like, "Yo, do you not know who I am?" I'm like, "No. Who are you?" He's like, "It's Quinn," and I'm like, "Right." It's like putting faces to names. It's all over
Yeah.
the place, and for me, it was quite a lot like that at the event. Obviously, I've met people before, like people recognize me, and I met people like I hung out with Davey and Kurt a lot from Aerox, and like I recognize Reese, IHNK, and all these other people. We had little conversations throughout the day, and it's just people all over the place who you just realize are there, and all of a sudden you're putting personalities, body types, faces, and everything to names, and it's just such a surreal experience. Like I'm looking at people in Skype calls and on streams and stuff, and I feel like, oh yeah, you must be like quite a tall guy. Nope, 5'8". Like I'm just it's just so odd to me, right? So we'll move on to some questions then. I saw some people putting some stuff in the chat. I think Vipers, I think it was Dean, put a question in saying, what are our opinions on streamers or people who stream without or with face cam? Is it better to stream with or without?
Your mic's muted, Harry. But I won't watch a stream unless they have a face cam. I refuse to. I just don't enjoy.
It's very tilting.
As much as as I said earlier about the gameplay, they could be dropping 50, 60, however many kills. I won't watch a stream unless they have a face cam. I just don't enjoy it. I don't feel like it's almost like I don't feel the connection with the streamer, which sounds weird, but I'm sure a lot of people can relate.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that myself. Like, I don't like every time I stream, I always have face cam on, and I don't like watching streams without them. It's just impersonal is how I feel. You had anything to say on that one, Harry, or is that just encapsulated for you there? Oh, muted again.
Mute again.
God's sake.
I find it like extremely like not as like appealing kind of thing.
Right.
Like you get to see their reactions if they get bullshitted. For a perfect example, like some of the reactions are the best. Yeah. Just general stuff like that, or like when someone drops like big dono on a stream, you see them go nuts. Like that's pretty cool. Or they do something insane. I think it's just a lot better. And as Cal said about interacting with the stream.
Stop eating.
You got anything to say on that one, Brody? Or are you just pretty much in concordance?
No, I mean, yeah, in concordance. I mean, to be fair, I don't often spend much of my time watching streams just because I don't have the time to do it at the moment. But when I do watch streams, I think the only ones I've ever watched is Tommy. He's the one who I've got Prime subscription to just because they're free. But not sorry, AJ. But obviously,
waste of a Prime sub.
I definitely think the webcam helps because obviously, again, like Harry said, you don't get to see those reactions, during those key moments, which are funny, and they're the ones you're going to remember ultimately. Like you're going to remember those moments where, like you mentioned earlier, when you talk about Unite streams, I don't think they had face cams on then, but
no, not
but it's just those moments, if you know what I mean, where if they have a webcam, those moments become more memorable.
Yeah.
And then you're going to want to return just for those kind of moments. So
yeah, I'd agree with that. Another question that we had in the chat was from my good buddy Joe. He said, if you could only play one game for the next 2 years, what game would you choose and what's your reason?
As of right now, if I had to pick right now, it would have to be Fortnite.
I'm
I play.
tilted.
I don't know how
Oh.
long that would last for though.
No, 100%. But right now, I can't. If I play FIFA, my controller goes out the window. I play
Agreed. Yeah.
I play FIFA, my monitor gets cracked. I play COD, my controller smashes again. I just get so tilted in them. I think it's just because like the inner competitiveness of me just takes over, whatever.
And
But
you have a short temper.
you could say that, yes. But
Very.
with Fortnite, I could land and die straight away. I'll like get a little bit of a lump and then I'll go again.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about it. What it is about it. I just
I guess it's the reset every time as well. Like you go into a new game, whereas there's a small progression level, but the game before doesn't really affect it whatsoever. So it's a completely fresh playing field every time you go in, and it's a completely new lobby. You're not going to deal with any players that you seem to have been bullshitted by. So yeah, I think that's the big element to it, is that ultimately when you play Fortnite, it's just a continual fresh experience, and
yeah.
it is just refreshing overall.
Yeah, I was
Even though
wondering
I'm
if-
not a big fan, but go on, Harry.
I was wondering if that was like COD wise or just in general.
You can go for a
Oh.
COD one and in
Go-
general
go-
if you like.
If it was
go-
COD
go with
wise,
Sean.
I think all day, every day, Black Ops 2.
Yeah,
High
yeah.
five, man.
100%. If you can get your 360 out, or I guess
Straight up.
if you have an Xbox One.
I
Nah,
feel-
play
I
that
feel
shit on
like-
360.
Yeah, I'd rather play it on 360. Like, you don't fuck with the one.
Oh no, I mean I threw
Because
my
there's so
360
many
away.
issues. You get the blur glitch and stuff like that.
Latency as well. Like,
Maybe an unpopular opinion, but if it had to be a COD, I might actually pick Black Ops 3. I feel like pubs on that
Jeez,
game.
wow.
I feel like pubs on that game were just a lot better than Black Ops 2.
that pains
in my-
me.
Really?
I
That pains me. I think it pains all of us.
In terms of competitive, Black
Wobble
Ops 2,
your
like,
head.
hands down, Black Ops 2 in terms of competitive. But in terms of just like actual gameplay, I think Black Ops 3 public matches were just a lot better. Obviously, they didn't have the league. What was it? What was it called back then? League play. They didn't
yeah.
have that back in Black Ops 3, but yeah, I think in terms of pubs, Black Ops 3.
Yeah, League play was straight fire. I could play that stuff
Yeah,
for 2
everyone
years
loves League
straight.
play,
I could
yeah.
play that stuff for 2
That was
years.
basically like a mixture of the pubs and competitive.
That was my
Just
introduction to COD, man.
perfect.
That was where it all started. For me, I'd probably pick Black Ops 2 for COD. And then as an overall game, like I've been playing Counter-Strike now for a year and a half, or I don't know, like on and off for a year and a half, and I just love playing it every single time I get on it. It frustrates the ever-living hell out of me, but like it literally tilts me into next week every single time I play it. But I probably have to pick that because I suck at everything else. Like I straight suck at League of Legends.
I'm sure that's not true.
I straight suck at City Skyline. I like Portal 2, but that frustrates me.
Why is City Skylines the next game you go to?
I don't know.
League
I
of
just love
Legends,
it.
City Skylines.
I just love it, man. It's just so much fun. Portal 2 is one thing I'm playing a lot at the moment, but I couldn't play that for 2 years. That'd blow my head
I
off.
think mine would have to be a sort of COD.
Yeah.
A sort of,
No.
like,
They've
what,
got
like an FPS, or
replayability,
just like a
don't
COD
they?
in general.
Just a COD in general, man.
Alright.
Like, I definitely avoid Black Ops 3. I didn't enjoy it. Not comp-wise. Like, in general, I couldn't smash that game out. I don't know what it was.
Oh, I did
Same as
so
IW,
hard.
to be fair.
Mm.
Like,
I played IW more than I did this game.
Oh,
What on
AW,
earth is wrong with you?
AW I smashed out. Ghost I smashed out. Black Ops 2 I smashed out.
I
Whatever.
didn't play Ghost.
MW3, that was the first COD I've ever I sat there like double XP weekend. I didn't get off a game.
Pretty much, mate. Pretty much me on Black Ops 2 every single time. Master Prestige within like 7 days or whatever.
Yeah.
Again, in terms of like public matches, I probably played more IW pubs than I did this year.
That's gross.
I don't know why or what's changed, but I just
Jeez,
can't
that
play
is
this game.
bad. I can't play
know.
pubs full stop anymore. I stopped playing pubs in like IW. I really didn't enjoy it at all.
I stopped playing COD at the
Like,
start of IW.
yeah,
I haven't touched it since.
I actually am the same. At World War II, I tried because I was really excited for boots on the ground, but like I think it's supposedly when they introduced skill-based matchmaking to the game.
It's not
that,
skilled enough, are you, Brody? That's really
No, not very good.
No.
But like as soon as that happened, I stopped enjoying the game because the lobbies. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was actually because of that, but it happened to be around the same time.
Yeah.
But I just can't enjoy playing pubs at least anymore. Competitive's fine, but like pubs is
Pubs
just
are
not fun. Yeah.
Right, 2 more questions then. They're both really pretty garbage questions, I can't lie. But best haircut EU? Who are we saying?
So certainly not Harry Jones. Your mic's muted again, but certainly not your haircut.
Give a chat. Look at it, man.
Exactly.
I'm not commenting on this one because I've got the deadest trim of this year.
Yeah,
so,
same.
Best
I'm
haircut.
staying
I'm
out.
gonna have to go with Dave.
Dave,
Web-
yeah,
Dave.
Nah,
pretty fire.
beep. Beep, bro, his hair's so sick. Like,
I love it. I love Beep. All right, and then the other question was question for HJ. Who was the best person he shared a bed with at LAN?
Oh,
Think
God.
carefully. Think carefully.
Okay. Oh no.
I've shared a
only
lot of
took us
beds
9
with a
episodes
lot
to
of
get to
people.
Oh dear.
If I could choose one, it'd be myself.
Oh, isn't
Oh,
that cute?
that's cute.
What a cop out.
I say definitely not you because I woke up and it right. So on a Sunday morning, Monday of our flights at Paris, I woke up. Callum had no covers on. I look on my floor, and,
wasn't there
there's
opposite
covers.
bed?
There's covers on my floor. When I go into the bathroom, there's covers with sick on the floor.
Oh my man.
I woke up to find out that he had spewed all over our teammates' bed.
I'd somehow woken up from my bed, threw up. So we had a double bed like in front of us. Like we were on the double bed in front of us. There was two other people like on a makeup bed and a sofa. Somehow in the night, I'd woken up, jumped at the end of the bed, threw up all over him, then made my way to the toilet and threw up all over the toilet.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so
No
he's out.
experience for the drink.
He's out the equation straight away.
What was your question?
I
Dom?
don't know.
can't see that.
Probably a quiz.
All right, fair enough. I think that was the person asking the
I think
question.
I've shared with a quiz.
That's what he was
Dunno.
asking. He was
Maybe.
asking the question.
Maybe.
Oh, okay. That's not
Maybe.
not the worst then. I've only ever shared a bed with one person at LAN. That was Dizzy, and that was only for like 30 seconds anyway. So.
Yeah.
Is
Is
that-
that all it takes?
Yeah.
Yeah, sadly, that's
Well,
how
why
long.
not
That's how
that
long.
one?
That's how long he lasts these days. He's been out of the game for too long.
That was good. That was good. George. It's a good turnaround.
Either which way, yeah. We it was I-60 was the only time I've ever stayed because obviously I'm only like 20 minutes away from Birmingham as it is, so it doesn't make much sense for me to stay in. It did last time because like, you know, I was going to be there for the whole weekend, but this time I wasn't really sure if I was going to be there for the whole weekend. Didn't even go on Sunday, which was a mistake because I would have loved to have been part of that grand final crowd. Anyway, I think that's a good place to end the stream. I just want to thank Frenzy and AJ for coming on the stream today. Fantastic little podcast. First one back after a couple of weeks off. Brody's been busy doing some essays, and now he's going to go and do that while I go and solo cast Val. So thanks very much. And yeah, gonna get straight back to his girlfriend. Yeah.
I mean,
Thanks for having us.
You're very welcome. Very welcome. All down to Esports Universe for that one. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a pleasure as always. Thank you guys to Harry and Frenzy yet again. And of course, thank you to Brody for making sure he doesn't bring up anything related to P10 this episode. So wonderful. Thank you guys for watching. And we'll see you later. Bye-bye.